The materials that you will need for this activity are a clear plastic container with fresh water, 2 empty glass bottles, a container of salt, food coloring, a small spoon, and a large spoon. Many kinds of wetlands, including mangroves, are located where fresh water from the land meets salt water from the ocean. The most obvious characteristic of seawater is its saltiness, or salinity, but most kinds of wetlands, from salt ponds to estuaries, are less salty than the ocean, and organisms face a constant fluctuation in salinity as both tides and freshwater flow interact. Salt water is denser than freshwater and tends to sink to the bottom, so the organisms often have to deal with layers of different salinities. In order to make salt water, have 2 students add 6 teaspoons of salt to one of the bottles. Screw down the top and shake the bottle to dissolve the salt. Discuss what has happened to the salt. Now, add 8 drops of red food coloring to the bottle with salt water and shake the bottle until it dissolves. Then, lay the bottle on its side on the bottom of the container with the fresh water. Now, ask the students to predict what will happen to the salty water when the bottle top is removed. Now, ask the students why the salty water stays at the bottom. Denser specific gravity than the fresh water, it's heavier and therefore sinks. After a few minutes, gently take the bottle out of the container, not disturbing the water. Screw the top back on. Repeat the procedure with the second bottle, but do not add salt. Just add 6 drops of green food coloring. Dissolve the food coloring and lay the bottle on its side on the bottom of the container. Salt water is denser than fresh water and tends to sink to the bottom, so the organisms often have to deal with layers of different salinities. Fresh water, being lighter than salt water, floats to the top of the ocean water. Wind, waves, and tides can stir up the layers, so wetland animals must be prepared for quick changes in salinity. On a secondary school level, this activity works with chemistry and physics classes, as it demonstrates density through the movement of saltwater and freshwater currents. Discuss wetlands and estuarine areas. Deep ocean water is always colder than the water in mangroves or a shallow estuary. Water entering both the estuary and wetlands as runoff from the mangroves is usually colder than the water already in the estuarine areas, which has been warmed by the sun. How do differences in water temperature influence the plants and animals that live there? Plant growth is faster in warm temperatures, and this is one reason that wetlands and estuaries are so productive.